Good evening. I would like to call this agenda work session to order to set the tentative agenda for the October 24th, 2019 council meeting. Mayor Williams is out of town working. Ms. Middleton, roll call please.
Mayor Williams, Vice Mayor Hilton,
Here.
Councilmember Cagle,
Here.
Councilmember Shaughnessy,
Here.
Councilmember Webb. Here. Manager Dorsey,
Here.
excuse me, City Attorney Mitchell.
Here.
We have no old business tonight. New business, we have for item A, an unnumbered ordinance number, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Eastridge, Tennessee, to amend the fiscal year 2020 operating budget, ordinance number 1105 for general government and engineering expenditures, first reading.
Yes, we're going to be just moving some money from the general government under workers' comp to our engineering line item because we have a lot of projects going on, and we only budgeted $50,000, and we were able for our workers' comp to come in below what we had estimated would be. So we're not changing the bottom line, we're just moving from one department to another.
Thank you. Council, any questions? Seeing none, we'll move on to item B, resolution, unnumbered bids for soccer uniform shirts for indoor soccer.
Yes, Mayor and Council, bids for soccer uniforms for indoor soccer were advertised on October the 6th. Bids will be opened on October the 16th and presented to Council for consideration on October 24th.
Council, any questions? Seeing none, we'll move on to an unnumbered resolution, bids for turnout gear for the fire department.
Vice Mayor and Council, at the fire department, we've looked at some interesting facts with our turnout gear that we presently have. One is each member has a good set of turnout gear they're operating in. We have a few spare sets. So what we've run into is when the guys have to decontaminate themselves, wash their gear to make it clean where they can wear it in a medical cause, and keep the contaminations down. So we're looking at trying to buy a second full set of turnout gear for each member. That way the size of the gear is tailored for that member. When he's got one set that's down due to either needing repair or needing to be cleaned, he's got a second set of turnout gear. So I brought this to the city manager's attention, and we discussed it. We looked at some different options, and of course we want to try to cut down as much as we can the cancer and different particulates that these guys are they encounter on different type of calls. So we're trying to make it safer. This is one of the safest ways we can do that, is providing them a second set of turnout gear that they will have immediately when they return back to the station. Put them in a set of gear that fits them, so there's no issues of, well, this gear is too big, it's not made for this guy. When he's climbing the ladders, it's too large, and it creates a safety hazard. So we've looked at a lot of different things. Over the past several years, we've budgeted for turnout gear. We've budgeted for 3 to 5 sets. So we've been trying to replace the current turnout gear that we have. So currently, all the guys are in good turnout gear, okay? They wear this on medical calls, they wear it on wrecks, they wear it on fires, certain medical calls. So they're in good gear right now. But we looked at a lot of different ways of coming up with different options for a second set. One was a different type of financing. Me and Mr. Dorsey looked at some different things, Ms. Qualls, and I think the best option, and I believe this is coming from Diane and both Mr. Dorsey, is instead of doing a finance for 24 sets of gear, is go ahead and try to buy 24 sets of gear, with the council's permission. So we wanted to send out bids for that, for 24 sets of turnout gear. That will complete every employee that I have in a new set of turnout gear. and you'll have a good second set of turnout gear to fall back on.
Thank you. Council, any questions? Okay, thank you. Seeing none, item D.
I'd like to go back to the amendment in the budget.
Okay,
My math is right. General government was 1,120,440 minus 40, and we come up with 1,081,000.
It should be 1 million, yeah. It was, my formula was off, I corrected it. So the actual one that you will have at the next meeting will be the correct one. Had to redo my formula.
Don't check it with those spreadsheets.
I know.
thank you. Item D, grant consent agenda, an unnumbered
I'm
resolution.
sorry, go ahead.
A resolution of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, authorizing the city manager or his designee to accept the Hamilton County 2019 Homeland Security Grant for the East Ridge Police Department.
Yes, Vice Mayor and Council, this is a grant that the Public Safety Committee, the fire and police do every year. And you'll see the next line item, we can talk about that as well, it's for the fire department. This year, the police department will be awarded. The award letter hasn't come from the county mayor yet, and it usually comes between March and April. But they are expected to get $2,500, and that's used for safety wear, like safety glasses, medical gloves, outerwear covers for their feet, like if they go into a building that may have some contaminants on the floor, and eyewear and face wear. So that'll go towards that. And then with the fire department, they are receiving $15,000 to go towards the purchase of radio equipment. They try to keep up every year with the different versions that come out to make sure that they're able to communicate not only with themselves but with other agencies. So again, this is, we're just trying to get this out of the way now until we get the letter coming in March or April from the mayor that'll say go ahead and make those purchases.
Thank you. Council, any questions? Seeing none, item number 2, unnumbered resolution, a resolution of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, authorizing the city manager or his designee to accept the Hamilton County 2019 Homeland Security Grant for the East Ridge Fire Department.
Yes, Vice Mayor and Council, I did discuss that as well. The fire department will be getting radios to help, supplement the ones that they already have and replace some of the old worn out radios in order for them to be able to communicate with other agencies and within the departments. So they've actually been very successful in the last couple of years of getting this amount of money towards radio purchases. So again, once the Hamilton County Mayor gives the release letter, which will be around, like I say, March or April, this is just getting this out of the way, and then once we get the letter, we'll be good to go on purchases.
Okay, thank you. Council, any questions? Any questions? Okay,
Item I need to add.
okay,
After this, just a heads up for our next meeting. I've been talking to Amanda and to Diane about the status of the city's ADA transition plan. Every city in Tennessee has to adopt one of these basically by the end of the calendar year. And after going through this with Amanda and Diane, I found, we had the public hearing right after I first started in May, dealing with this, where the public had input on the ADA plan, where there's roughly just under $300,000 in building repairs and $5 million in road and infrastructure repairs on the list, if I remember correctly. Right?
Yes, sir.
You're nodding yes, okay. So we want to put this on it has to be done by December 31st, and I don't want to wait till the last minute to put something on in case there's questions or things we need to be looking at. So I would like to have this added for the agenda for the next meeting to go over this. There's a copy, if you all haven't read it yet. I don't know how much discussion you had before I got here, before they had the public hearing, but there's a copy of the ADA plan on
The website, if you go to the main eastridgetn.gov, at the top where it says government, you will see underneath that headline the ADA Title VI, and that has all the information about ADA, Title VI, the plan, our grievance procedures, and everything. And like Mr. Dorsey said, we do need to get this done before the end of the year, and it's really tied to grant funding. TDOT can withhold grant funding if we don't have this plan in place, and this has actually been going on for several years, probably when city manager was at Red Bank. So back then it was, you need a plan, have a plan to have a plan. Well, now the can has been kicked down the road and the state really wants everyone to have the plan in place. So that's been going on for this past year, and we are almost finished. And then the only other thing we have to do would be adopt the PROAG standards, and that's the public right-of-way accessibility guidelines. The city already follows those guidelines when they're doing code inspections and any other types of retrofit or anything like that. But it's just nice to have that policy on the code books. So we will be working on that as well for an ordinance in the upcoming future.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Bowers.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Do any of the council members have anything you want to talk about right now? Or do you
I'll
any
wait.
announcement?
I don't have.
Okay, this meeting is adjourned until 6:30. We'll restart.